I said I'm only with him for the money, sarcastically. He told me it was my biggest mistake ever. Hello, Reddit. Long-time lurker, but this is my first time ever posting. I don't know why I'm bringing this on here because, to be honest, I'm not the type to air my dirty laundry on the internet. Normally, I'd rather keep my life private and let people assume everything is sunshine and rainbows. But here I am, posting in the middle of the night because I need advice. Desperately. Me and my husband, let's call him Ryan, have been married for about 3 years now, and honestly, he's everything you'd want in a husband. Hardworking, generous, and let's be real, very, very successful. Like, not to toot my own horn, but I kind of hit the jackpot with him, or rather, I plan to hit the jackpot with him. Yeah, I'll admit it. This wasn't some fairy tale, stars-aligned love story. It was more of a carefully calculated choice on my part, and looking back, I feel a little ashamed about it now. But the truth is, the major reason I got with Ryan in the first place was because of his potential. He just screamed future success from the moment I met him. We met back in college, and even then it was so obvious that he was going places. You know those kinds of guys? That one classmate that everyone just knows is going to make it big someday? That was Ryan. Everyone could see it. He was that guy. Smart, driven, and already miles ahead of everyone else in terms of ambition. So of course, I got with him. I mean, can you blame me? It was like an open secret. Ryan was destined to be successful. The kind of guy who wasn't just going to graduate and land a decent job, but someone who was going to absolutely crush it in life. And honestly, it wasn't just his potential that caught my eye. Ryan came from an upper-class family, which, let's be real, was another huge bonus. I mean, who wouldn't want that? Don't judge me. Seriously, don't. You'd probably do the same if you were in my shoes. It wasn't like I didn't like him. I did. Ryan was charming, kind, and incredibly smart. But I'd be lying if I said his financial stability and bright future weren't big factors in why I pursued him. At the time, it just made sense. I wasn't thinking about love in the traditional, sweeping, romantic way. I was thinking about my future. I mean, who wouldn't want a partner who could offer them stability and a life of comfort? So, yeah, I made my move. And I'd say I played my cards pretty well, because fast forward to now, I'm Mrs. Ryan. We've built this amazing life together, or rather, he's built it, and I've been lucky enough to enjoy the ride. But the thing is, when you go into a relationship with one foot already planted in selfish intentions, well, things have a way of catching up to you. And again, like I said, it's not like I didn't love Ryan or anything like that. I did, I do, I honestly do. Back then, sure, when I didn't know him very well, it was his potential that first caught my eye. I won't sugarcoat it. But once I got with him, once I really got to know him, everything changed. I mean, how could you not fall for a guy like Ryan? Of course, I fell hard. And now here we are. Ryan handles most of the finances in our relationship. It's just how things have always worked out. Well, okay, all of the finances, if we're being completely honest. But I've always thought that was fair. I mean, he's the one with the big paycheck, right? That's not to say I don't contribute. I work too, but let's just say my job isn't exactly breaking any banks. I make a modest income, enough to cover some personal expenses and help out here and there, but nothing close to what Ryan brings in. And that's fine, because in my mind, that's his role. He's the man. He's the provider. That's how it's supposed to be, isn't it? I don't see anything wrong with the way we've split things. I mean, every relationship is different, and this is just how ours works. And yeah, I like nice things. Always have, always will. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm the kind of person who's content with bargain shopping or living some minimalist lifestyle. That's just not me. I've always appreciated the finer things in life. And honestly, when you're married to someone who earns that much, it's kind of a no-brainer to indulge a little, don't you think? Like, why wouldn't I want to buy nice things? Why wouldn't I want to enjoy the perks of being with someone who's worked hard to create a comfortable life for us? It's not like I'm out here throwing money around like confetti, but yeah, I've been known to splurge now and then. And if we're being completely honest, Ryan doesn't mind. At least he's never said anything about it, Dot. So yeah, I've always been a little, let's call it extravagant. The thing is, I feel like because of how extravagant I can be, or how much I tend to joke about the whole gold digger thing, people don't really know when I'm being serious or not. It's kind of ridiculous, honestly. Like, I've literally had a couple of friends say they didn't think I was joking when I made those kinds of comments, which is just, weird, crazy even. I mean, why would anyone take that seriously? But anyway, let me back up and explain what actually happened. So here's the thing. I've always had this habit of teasing Ryan about being with him for the money. It's not like I actually mean it, it's just my sense of humor. I'll make these playful comments about how I was so smart to marry someone with financial stability, or how he's my walking retirement plan. I honestly thought it was harmless. I mean, we've been together for years, right? He knows me. To be fair, Ryan has mentioned a few times that those jokes make him uncomfortable, but, I always brushed it off. To me, they were just jokes, no harm intended. I figured he'd get over it, the same way he gets over every little thing I say that bugs him. You know how couples are. Plus, Ryan has always been a bit too serious for his own good. So, fast forward to this one time we were out with a group of friends. It was just a casual thing. Dinner, drinks, good vibes. As usual, Ryan covered the bill because, well, that's just what he does. Someone at the table made a lighthearted comment about how I must love having a husband who always takes care of everything, and I, feeling playful and sarcastic, decided to jump in with, well, I'm only with him for the money. I even laughed after saying it because, it was a joke and I was being sarcastic. But apparently no one else found it funny. The room went dead silent, awkward, pin drop silent. The laughter that had been going around just sort of fizzled out. And then there was Ryan. He didn't laugh, didn't even crack a smile. He just looked at me, kind of stone-faced, and said, well, that's your biggest mistake ever. Then he chuckled, but it wasn't his usual laugh. It was weird. The whole thing threw me off. The way everyone just went quiet, the awkward energy, Ryan's odd delivery, it all felt strange. But I tried to brush it off, thinking maybe I didn't tell my joke right. Maybe it came out wrong. Or people just weren't in the mood to laugh about that kind of thing. Whatever. I figured it wasn't a big deal. Our friends awkwardly shifted the conversation to something else, and I just went along with it. I mean, I assumed it was fine. Ryan's heard me make similar jokes a dozen times before, and even though he's complained a little, he's never made a huge deal out of it. So I thought, okay, maybe it just wasn't the right crowd or timing, but he'd get over it like he always does. Spoiler alert, he didn't. On the car ride home, Ryan tried to bring up what happened, but I brushed it off. Honestly, I regret that now, because maybe if we had talked about it then, things wouldn't have spiraled the way they did. At the time, I just convinced myself it wasn't worth a deep discussion. I thought it was just a misunderstanding, a weird moment that would pass. I mean, it wasn't the first time I'd made a comment like that, and nothing had ever come of it before, so I let it slide. Big mistake. Over the next few days, Ryan started to pull away. At first, it was subtle. Short replies to my questions, no affection, no effort to initiate meaningful conversations. It felt like he was emotionally checked out. I noticed it, sure, but I just assumed it was work stress, or maybe he needed some space. I kept telling myself it was nothing major, that it would blow over like it always did. But then it didn't. Eventually, things came to a head. Ryan sat me down and told me he was done. I was stunned. He said the comment I made in front of our friends had really hurt him, and that it wasn't just about that one moment. He admitted he'd been questioning my motives ever since I said it. He brought up how this wasn't the first time I'd made a joke like that, and how it's been eating away at him, making him feel like those jokes weren't entirely baseless. He explained that even sarcasm has some truth behind it, and he feels like I've been diminishing everything he does. He told me it made him feel like all his hard work and success boiled down to money in my eyes, like that's the only thing that matters about him. It wasn't just about the one joke, it was about the pattern. He said he's been feeling used, like his worth in our relationship is tied to his paycheck, and it's been weighing on him for a long time. I tried to defend myself. I told him it was sarcasm, that of course I don't mean it that way, and I love him for who he is, not what he earns, but he wasn't buying it. He countered that even if I say I'm independent or I work, I barely make enough to contribute to anything meaningful. He pointed out how all the money I do make goes toward my personal wants, while he shoulders all the real financial responsibilities. And honestly, he wasn't wrong about that. Then he said something that really shook me, that he thinks we need space. He said he needs time to think about everything, about us. I panicked. The idea of him leaving over something so stupid, something I thought was a harmless joke, felt surreal, but it wasn't stupid to him. He packed an overnight bag and left. That was a week ago, a whole week, and I'm losing it. I don't know where he's staying. I can't reach him much. When I do try, he's distant, like I'm talking to a stranger. I'm terrified. What if this joke, this stupid offhand comment, is the thing that ruins my marriage? I've tried talking to my friends, but they've been no help. If anything, they're making me feel worse. They're all on his side. A few of them even admitted they didn't think I was joking when I made those comments in the past. That just floored me. Like, what the hell? Of course I was joking. How could anyone take that seriously? But now I'm second-guessing myself, wondering if maybe my tone or actions made it seem otherwise. So here I am, on Reddit, hoping for advice, insight, anything. What do I do? How do I fix this? I want to save my marriage, but I feel like I'm running out of options. Ryan feels like a stranger right now, and I don't know how to reach him. I don't even know where to start. I just know I don't want to lose him, especially not over something as dumb as this. So what the hell do I do, Reddit? Please help me. Update. Hello, Reddit. First off, I just want to say thank you for all the feedback and advice on my last post. I was honestly overwhelmed by how much attention it got. When I posted, I was desperate for help, but I didn't expect it to go viral the way it did. I read through so many of your comments, and even though some were hard to hear, I appreciate all of them. But honestly, I wish I had a more positive update for you all. I really do. The truth is, things have only gotten worse. I've been crying nonstop. I feel hurt, broken, and completely lost. Ryan came back to the house, but not for the reason I hoped. He came back to tell me he wants a divorce. He told me that he can't stay married to someone who, in his words, doesn't value him for who he is beyond his financial stability. Hearing that hit me like a ton of bricks. I tried everything to change his mind. I begged, I pleaded, I cried. I told him over and over that it was all just a misunderstanding, that my jokes were never meant to hurt him or make him feel less than. But he wouldn't budge. Ryan said this is my biggest mistake ever, and that no amount of apologies can undo how I've made him feel over time. He told me that even though I say I love him, my actions have shown otherwise. He feels used, and he said he's been questioning the foundation of our relationship ever since I made that comment in front of our friends. I tried to explain myself, but he said he's already made up his mind. Now I'm dealing with the fallout. He's given me a month to move out of the house. A month. That's it. I have nowhere to go but my parents' house, which I really don't want to do. I've started looking for apartments, but let me be real here. I can't afford anything even remotely close to the lifestyle I've been living. I've been so used to a certain standard of living, thanks to Ryan's hard work, and now it's hitting me just how much I've taken for granted. Everything is coming crashing down around me, and I have no idea how to handle it. What makes it worse is that my friends are all supporting him, every single one of them. They've been telling me that they saw this coming, that I shouldn't have joked about the money thing, that I should have known better. And you know what? They're right. I've been careless. I took his kindness, his generosity, and his hard work for granted, and now I'm paying the price. But knowing that doesn't make it hurt any less. I'm spiraling. I feel so depressed and overwhelmed, and I don't know what to do anymore. I've tried everything I can think of to fix this, to get Ryan to reconsider, but he's shut me out completely. He's done. I never thought a stupid joke could ruin my entire marriage, but here I am. So much for posting on Reddit for advice, huh? I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate all of you who took the time to respond, but it looks like it's too late for me. I don't know what to do now. If anyone has any advice for getting through something like this, I'm all ears, because I feel like I'm drowning. Update. Hello, Reddit. I don't even know why I'm here again, honestly. Maybe I just need to scream into the void or unload somewhere because I feel like I'm drowning. I don't even care who sees this anymore. My life is a complete mess. It's unraveling so fast that I can barely process what's happening, let alone react. Everything is hitting me at once, and I'm struggling to even come to terms with how things have gone so horribly wrong. So yeah, I moved out of Ryan's house. Out of my husband's house. Saying it out loud still doesn't feel real. I've been avoiding the reality of it, but here I am. I moved out, and it was the most painful thing I've ever done. Packing up my things, leaving the home we built together, it gutted me. And now? Now I'm back at my parents' house, which, let me tell you, is the absolute last place I ever wanted to be. I dreaded moving in with them for a reason. My parents are relentless. They've already started with their comments, and it's exactly what I expected. They're blaming me for everything that's happened, rubbing it in my face like I don't already hate myself enough. They don't even bother hiding that they're on Ryan's side. Everyone is on Ryan's side. My friends, my parents, probably even my neighbors at this point. I have no one in my corner. It's like I'm completely and utterly alone. And as if all that wasn't enough, I'm struggling to hold it together at work. My performance has tanked, and I can feel the judgment from my coworkers every time I walk in. I've been trying so hard to keep up, but my head just isn't in it. Then came the final blow, the divorce papers. I thought I was prepared for it, but the second I saw them, it was like the floor dropped out from under me. It made everything feel so final, so painfully real. I've been in and out of the hospital the last couple of weeks because the stress has literally made me sick. My body is falling apart just like my life, and I can't even function properly anymore. I feel like I'm unraveling, like I'm losing my mind. The constant stress, the heartbreak, the guilt, it's eating me alive. And you know what the worst part is? I miss him. God, I miss him so much. I miss the way he used to hold me, the way he'd laugh at my dumb jokes, well, before they weren't funny anymore, and the way we used to just be. It's like a part of me is gone, and I can't get it back. I never in a million years thought that some stupid, sarcastic joke, a joke, could destroy everything. But here I am, sitting in my childhood bedroom, wondering how my entire marriage fell apart because I didn't know when to shut up. I feel like a complete failure. I don't know how to move forward from this. I'm just so angry at myself, so angry at how careless I've been. And yet, despite everything, I can't stop hoping that somehow, some way, this nightmare will end and I'll get him back. But who am I kidding? That's not going to happen. This is my reality now, and I don't know how to face it. Update. Hello, Reddit. It's been a while since I've updated. Yeah, a long while, haha. Honestly, I've been avoiding making this post because, let's be real, unloading on here was cool and all, but a lot of the comments weren't exactly nice. I guess I wasn't ready to face more criticism when I'm already down, you know? But also, I just couldn't finish this damn post for the longest time. I'd type it up, read it over, and then delete it like some ridiculous cycle. It made me so, I don't even know how to explain it. Frustrated, angry at myself, just everything. Every time I tried to write, I'd stop halfway through because I couldn't deal with putting it all out there again. But here I am now, finally biting the bullet and getting this over with. I guess this is my way of closing this whole chapter for good, or at least trying to. So yeah, here's the update. The divorce is finalized. And let me tell you, it was brutal. I won't go into every detail because honestly, it's still a sore spot for me. But what I can say is that I walked away with nothing, not a single damn thing. I mean, I knew we were only married for 3 years, so I wasn't expecting to walk out with half his fortune or anything. But I thought I'd get something. Nope. Nada. No piece of the house. No alimony. Nothing. It was a clean sweep for him, and I got left with empty hands and an even emptier heart. And yeah, it hurt. It hurt so bad. Even though I keep telling myself, well, that's what I deserve, it still stings. It's like the universe decided to rub salt in the wound just to make sure I never forget how much I screwed up. As for work, I'm still at the same job, but it's been a struggle. My performance tanked for a while, and I even got demoted at one point because of how bad things got. That was humiliating, but I don't really want to get into it because it's still a touchy subject for me. Let's just say I'm trying to get better. I've been job searching, though, because, surprise, surprise, I hate my workplace now. It feels like everything is a constant reminder of how far I've fallen, and I just want a fresh start. Things with my parents haven't gotten any better either. I thought moving back in with them was bad enough, but they've made it so much worse. They're still blaming me for everything, and now they've started charging me rent. Yeah, you read that right, rent. So now I'm stuck paying my parents just to live in their house, all while trying to keep myself afloat. It's like a never-ending nightmare. My friends? Oh, they're still Team Ryan, so no changes there. My social circle is pretty much non-existent at this point. I've never felt lonelier. I'm bitter, angry, depressed, All the fun emotions, right? Some days it feels like I can barely drag myself out of bed. If it weren't for my job and needing to pay rent to my own parents, I'd probably just lock myself in my room forever. I wish I had something positive or exciting to share with you all. I wish I could come on here and be like, hey, guess what? I turned my life around and now I'm thriving. But that's not my reality. My life has been an absolute drag. Every day feels like a chore. Back at my parents' house, broke, miserable, and unable to afford the lifestyle I used to have, it's not what I envisioned for my life at all. Not even close. Anyway, I guess that's it. That's my life now, depressing as hell, right? But I figured I'd finally post this and let it all out. Maybe it'll help me close this chapter, or maybe not. Who knows? I don't know what's next for me. But for now, this is my reality, and it's absolutely crazy how far I've fallen. I will never forgive myself for what I've done. Absolutely never. I miss him so much. I think about him constantly. It's crazy to say this, but I genuinely hope he finds someone better than me, someone who deserves him, someone who doesn't take him for granted the way I did. It hurts so much to admit that, but it's the truth. He deserves someone who will see him for the amazing person he is, not just someone who's there when things are convenient. I realize now how much I took him for granted. He was always there, always giving, always trying to make me happy. And I didn't see it, or maybe I did, but I didn't fully appreciate it. I was selfish. I was careless. I was blind to everything he brought into my life until it was too late. And now, here I am, left with nothing but regret and the hollow ache of knowing I'll never get him back. I'll never hear him call me his again. I'll never get to wake up next to him or laugh with him or have him look at me like I'm his whole world. I ruined that. I ruined us. I've tried to make peace with it, but how can I? How do you move forward when you know you were the one who shattered everything good in your life? I keep thinking about what I could have done differently, how I could have been better, how I could have shown him just how much he meant to me before it was too late. But now, all I can do is hope that he finds someone who will give him what I couldn't. It's a bitter pill to swallow, realizing that the person you love most deserves a life without you in it. But I know it's true. He deserves to be happy, and as much as I wish it could have been with me, I know I've forfeited that chance. I know I'll never forgive myself for what I've done, and honestly, I don't think I deserve to.